So, welcome to Trumpet Lesson Part 2. In Trumpet Lesson Part 2, we continue to talk about the embouchure. We talk a little bit more about buzzing that mouthpiece, and we're going to learn to finger the first 5 notes of the scale, although we don't expect you just yet to be able to play all 5 notes. Alright, so there it is. It's the mouthpiece. We've talked about this. We're in ready position. We've got our right hand with our pinky underneath the pinky guide, holding on to the lead tube with our thumb. Put that down on my right leg. I take my mouthpiece and I think B flat, because that's what I do. And then I take my mouthpiece and I try and hold it steady. I might try and play it soft. I might try and play the same note a little louder. And then when I think I've got myself situated, I'm going to place the mouthpiece in the lead tube, give it a little bit of a tiny little twist. I don't push it, I don't pop it in. And I go for that first long tone. Every time you pick up the trumpet, long tones. Long tones are going to help you develop that musculature, that embouchure that's going to help you learn to play. Now, we talked about this before. When you first start playing, one of 2 notes is probably going to come out. Occasionally you meet a kid, the higher note comes out, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So one of these 2 notes will come out. Either a C, well, you think it's a C. Trumpet players think it's a C, because a C, we don't do anything to the valves. Just valves are all open, leaving them open. We play this note, C. Or this note may come out, it's called a G. Very occasionally you might meet a student who plays this note. Now it turns out there's, well, really an unlimited number of notes you can get out with just your lip, but it follows a rule. It's called the overtone series, and the overtone series is a bunch of notes that come out in order. So the first one is going to be C. The note above that is going to be the note G. So again, when you're first starting, if you can get one of them and hold it for a long time, it's really going to help you start to develop those muscles and that breath control that you're looking to get. What's normal? Well, a lot of students when they first pick up the instrument is going to move around on you. And at that point, you're trying to get a more even buzzing. So remember about the embouchure. Push back on your lips. Okay, let's review which valve is which. So, the last time we were talking about this, we were talking about, okay, that's the one closest to the mouthpiece. That one is going to be called 1, 2, 3. We're going to use 3 fingers. 1, 2, 3 on your right hand. But Mr. Hurd, I'm left-handed. Relax. You use your right hand even if you're lefty. It's kind of like when you play piano. You may be lefty, but your left hand is going to do left hand things. Your right hand's going to do right hand things. So dominance is not so much an issue. Hand dominance is not so much an issue in music. We use both hands. So again, I take my left hand, I make my little pistol grip, put my thumb here, I put my 2 fingers there. If I have a tuning slide, I put my ring finger in the tuning slide, and my pinky just comfortably sits next to it. Take my right hand up next to the lead pipe, my pinky in there, and I play my long tone. All right, now we're going to go through what they call a rote lesson. So here it is. You ready? I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. I'm going to go C, D, E, F, G. Hey, you went too fast. I'm going to do it a bunch of times. Relax. We're going to try that again. Here's the pattern you want to learn how to do. Open, C. D is 1 and 3. So the first 2 notes you got to worry about are C, D. What's that sound like? I slurred those 2 notes. I did not tongue those notes. Tonguing is when you stop the sound, you stop the airstream with your tongue in between. If I tongue, it would sound like this. Or I could just slur it and just play the vowels without changing my airstream very much. Open, 1, 3. Open, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. Think of this. If you said 3, 2, 1, it's pretty easy to remember. 3, 2, 1. And we're going to use 1 each time. 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. That was 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. You try it. 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the notes in this scale. Those are not the fingerings. The fingerings would be open, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, open. Open, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, open. C, D, E, F, G. Or if you'd like to look at it this way, C, open, and it's easier to see this way. Open, 1, 3. Ooh, be careful, huh? 1, 2, 1, open. C, D, E, F, G. So here's the thing. You don't always have to be playing to practice. So one of the things we're looking for is for you to start just, all right, here's an idea, kind of weird to wrap your head around, but thinking with your hands. And you're like, what do you mean, thinking with my hands? I think with my brain, not with my hands. You have muscle memory, and what you're trying to do is get your hands to remember open, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, open. 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, open. 1, 3, 1, 2, dip it, dip it, dip it, dip it, dip. Ba-do-do-do-do, 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 ba-do-do-do-do-do-do. That's lesson 2. It was a lot. Here's what we did. We talked about buzzing the mouthpiece. We talked about finding the home tone, C, which in the back of your mind you're supposed to remember is actually a concert B flat. That's why they call this a B flat trumpet. When you think you're playing C, the note B flat is actually coming out in the real world, but we're going to call it C because that's who you are. You're a trumpet player. You take your mouthpiece, you put it up to your lips. You work on holding that note steady. And once you can hold that note steady, you can put it into the instrument. Gives you the note you want. If you think up a fifth, why is it up a fifth, Mr. Hurd? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a fifth. Again, full disclosure, this is a musician, a conductor, a keyboard player playing the trumpet to help you learn. So, not a trumpet player. But, you get the idea. Here's what we learned today. C, D, E, F, G. C, D. 1 and 3. 1 and 2 is E. 1 is F. G is open. Thanks for tuning in to Trumpet Lesson number 2. This lesson is usually good for something like, might be a couple of months. Maybe you're that kid, you pick the instrument up and you're like, if you're that kid, well, you're ready to move on to 3. But until you're pretty comfy jumping between 1, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5. Have a great day.